just pulls his gun out. He's pissed off and he just unloads. So, we obviously have the phone camera footage that these guys actually leaked to a local right-wing group called like Alpha News. And we're going to be talking about that because as protests grow across the United States after the ICE shooting in Minneapolis, Republicans, instead of retreating and deciding that, this was a bad apple type situation, they're just going full tilt, pressing on the gas to the best of their ability and defending it. And of course, the Republican commentariat is also full tilt, invested in defending it. And these are the final moments of Renee Good, filmed by the person who actually killed her. And it's I guess it's another filter moment. I don't know. If you're like super biased, you genuinely see the exact opposite thing that I see. Because I saw this video and I thought this actually showcases that she had no ill intent whatsoever. Even though they leaked it themselves, as Evan Hill points to here. Notable that after the Justice Department blocked Minnesota law enforcement agencies from participating in the investigation into ICE, because that is what happened, and denied them access to evidence, the involved agent's cell phone video has leaked to a local right-wing outlet. Okay? And yeah, the phone camera footage is here. And now it's yet another instance where people that look at it and see two different things, like two separate realities. Just as, bro, that speech about bias while saying this shit is wild. Wait, what? Saying what shit? I think you can admit that, I guess, there is we're looking at the same thing. And there's like approximately like 20% of the population that looks at this video and says, well, this clearly vindicates my side, right? Which is the ICE agent's side. And like the rest of the country is looking at this and thinking, I cannot believe that there was a state sanctioned murder that took place in broad fucking daylight of an innocent mom. And most normal people, I think, lean on the side of this is truly unacceptable. But there is definitely a lot of people who are still looking at any piece of evidence that comes out that makes them feel vindicated. Like they will just, you could literally have a video that comes out tomorrow that says like, I, Jonathan Ross, am going to kill someone today. I'm excited, right? I'm excited to go and murder a white mother today for ICE and for my president, Donald Trump. And Republicans that are in the MAGA cult will still look at this and go, this doesn't mean anything. Like it is a new point of depravity. Let's just take a look at the video first, and then I'll go into it. There's obviously no gore in this, but because you can't really see, because like when he's shooting, he just like puts his phone down for that moment. He never really drops his phone or anything, which I think, as we were talking about again, is another point to the fact that he was not in fear for his life or anything. Like he wasn't sincerely worried about his life. He just, got a kill there. He panicked in that moment and just started shooting. So he gets out of his car. This is Jonathan Ross's POV. He gets out of his car. The car this red car is the Honda Pilot that belongs to Renee Good. In the back seat of the red car that belongs to Renee Good is Renee's dog. Okay? He first rolls up. She's very clearly initiating, like reversing here, because we've seen this video. We've seen this footage from the other angle. She's very clearly reversing here.
That's fine, dude. That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
She says, that's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Smiling, interacting. You can see his visage. You can see Jonathan Ross's image as he is filming the entire camera. No, she had reversed at this point. She's not reversing it. No, she's reversing. Look. Look. She's looking behind. Wheels are turned. From her side, the wheels are turned to the left. She is indicating a reversal, right? She reverses. She reverses. This is the first reversal that we saw. Okay, she's smiling. Renee Goods, in her last moments, is smiling and looking at her murderer, Jonathan Ross, and saying, "It's fine.
Fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
It's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you." You can literally see her plushies from this camera angle, okay? In her glove compartment box, there's a dog in the back of the car.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you.
That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk
This is, from what I understand, I think this is her partner, right?
to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking driver.
U.S. citizen, former what?
Fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking driver.
I don't know what she says, but this is her partner. This is her wife, former veteran.
You want to come at us? You want to come at us?
He switches his
I say go
hands.
get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car.
So she tries to get in the car. She's reversing, right? Former fucking veteran. While her partner's trying to get into the car from the other door, the doors are locked. She starts reversing and starts moving to get out of the way, okay? With all these people coming in, like as soon as the other dipshit ICE agents roll up, you can't see it from this angle, obviously, and you can kind of see it right here.
Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
Door lock because she shifted the drive, probably an auto locking mechanism, right? And you can only hear the 3 gunshots. And the truly evil right-wing hogs are looking at this video, okay? And I don't know if there's like a cut here or not, but the right-wing hogs are looking at, I think this is the full video, or at least like the important part of the full video that he filmed, okay? And they are trying to say that from this angle, it shows that she was clearly trying to kill him. You can straight up see the car turning away from him.
Get out of the car.
Can you apologize now? Apologize to what? If you think that this is proof that she was trying to, she's a terrorist who's trying to fucking murder this ICE agent, you are dumber than dirt. Not only are you dumber than dirt, if you look at this video, and see anything but an ICE agent who has hurt feelings and is quick draw McGraw, pulls his fucking gun out, clearly never even remotely in a situation where his life is threatened at all, just pulls his gun out, he's pissed off, and he just unloads. If you see anything but that, you are out of your fucking mind. Also, I don't know why we only hear 2 shots in this video. Yeah, people who understand flopping when they talk about NBA or when you fake a foul in soccer have no concept of this in this moment. Cool story, man. You're right, dude. I wish all of your mothers will experience a similar thing then, and then maybe then you will understand. Okay, state-sponsored execution. We'll still obviously fight against it every step of the fucking way, but I don't think a lot of you hogs are ever gonna understand until it happens to you, until it happens to a loved one, I don't think you're ever going to comprehend what took place here. You're just incapable of seeing it. And I know for a fact that you're incapable of seeing it, even though you're inconsistent in your process, because as soon as I say, oh, well, I hope it happens to a loved one for you, you'll turn around and say, wow, this is a death threat. Why would this be a death threat? Why would this be a death threat? It's perfectly valid, right? It's perfectly legal. You're defending it as being perfectly legal. So which one is it? If it's a perfectly legal situation, you'll defend it if it happens to your mother too. If you are ever in the vicinity of a cop, a vicinity of an ICE agent, and he gets pissed off and decides to shoot your parent, okay, you have to defend it. You have to sit there and defend it. We won't. That bitch tried to run him over, didn't she? Okay, I think we're getting an influx of baboon brain dipshits in the chat today. I am in Ukrainian armed forces, still here. I've responded. Thanks, bro. Morale is okay. I can speak only about special drone forces. What about Epstein files? Americans forgot about this case. Incredible. Incredible stuff. I guess hog universality is once again proven right here. Adam Cocker says this seems to be the agent's own footage showing clearly he was not a threat or blocked in and was focused on filming. He walked in front of her vehicle. She turned away to drive past him and accelerated after he drew his weapon. And they are literally looking at the situation. Their families are all bootlickers. They throw their family into the gunfire if they go against their deranged thought process. Someone says he called her a bitch at the end. Oh, yeah, he does. He says, fucking bitch. Hasan, yesterday you were talking about how people are finally waking up, and now today you're saying they won't understand until it finally happens to them. No, there are plenty of people. There are plenty of people who are waking up to this reality. It's just not happening on the internet, and it's not happening on, Twitter, and it's certainly not happening on Twitter adjacent communities like Twitch. You need to understand that. It is happening. You're just not seeing it right here. Like, normies that see this kind of stuff are not on board with it. I promise you. Like, normies, if you put this in front of otherwise like out of touch wine moms that don't really care, that like the Disney adults, the wine moms, the right-wing churchgoers and stuff like that don't really pay attention to the news. When you see something like this and you see the way that people are talking about this person, okay, the way that people are talking about this person in the car that got killed, it comes across as gross to the normies. But you rarely ever see that shit on the internet because it's mostly not fucking normies that are talking about it on the internet. It's brain-broken monsters that are talking about it on the internet in terms that you see. Renee Good's last words that you can see in the video quite literally are, "That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. You want me, these guys want us to believe that this woman is a terrorist."
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
These were her last words, man. These were her last words. They want us to believe that the fucking ICE agent was not power tripping and in a moment of panic unloaded 3 shots from close range onto this person. And all of these other people are trying to fucking engage in post hoc rationalizations as to why this state-sanctioned murder was totally fine. They want you to think she's the threat. Hasan's arguments are only based on emotion. She was trying to run him over clear as day. My arguments are not based on emotions. You are just trying to cope by presenting yourself as like this autistic sociopath when you actually aren't. You're just a fucking moronic child who wants to just see death and destruction in the country and can't comprehend that you could just as easily be in the crosshairs, or one of your loved ones could just as easily be in the crosshairs. That's it. Because you've warped your brain. You've developed CTE by being on Twitter too much and watching too much Asmongold and other right-wing influencers, and have completely lost sight of reality. You no longer have self-preservation skills. You no longer understand that in order for America to continue being a fucking society, we must repair the social fabric. And power-tripping cops like this being defended is actually disruptive to the social fabric. And in an anarchist situation, you will not be the one who will be raping and pillaging, okay? BlackRock, Blackwater, and Blackstone mercenaries will be the ones who will be raping and pillaging and drinking blood out of your fucking skull, okay? You think in an anarchist style, in an anarcho-capitalist style, complete bedlam society, that you will somehow change your position in society. You are already a fucking peasant. You're a peasant now. What makes you think that in a total collapsed American society that you will somehow be able to change your position, elevate it somehow? You're a fucking loser who spends all of his goddamn every waking moment sitting in a basement with the lights off, posting on the internet anonymously, trying to spread the fucking pain that you feel from the monotony of existence every single day. What makes you think that if the tide shifts and there's full-blown anarchy and the social fabric falls apart, that you will somehow magically win? You will not. You will not. Your life is shit right now. And as the social fabric unwinds, it will be even shittier. Lol, the Stunlock he went on based on a small comment. What a pussy winky face. I know. I'm not mad. You're mad. This is the poster's cope. The final cope of the poster, who knows that they're such fucking rapacious losers that, oh, well, at least I got you upset. Yeah, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth and maybe you'll be able to comprehend what I'm saying, okay? What I'm saying is what you are advocating for is your own demise without even realizing that you're advocating for your own demise. You can call me a pussy all you want. My face is fucking out there. I go outside in the fucking streets. You don't, okay? You don't. You don't participate in society. You're an American hikikomori. You sit around in your fucking home molding. Crusty as hell. And because your life is fucking ass, you think maybe I can spread this horrifying pain that I experience on a daily basis to others by justifying state-sanctioned murder. I don't have any loved ones, so who gives a fuck? This is quite literally the modus operandi of so many Americans now. It is devastating. It is a devastating reality where so many people just sit around and they can't even, so many people fucking sit around and experience pain on a daily basis, and instead of engaging in self-improvement, they decide to piss people off. In any case, like I said already, a society that justifies state-sanctioned murder like this and tries to section off, to cordon off who is appropriately in the crosshairs and who's pulling the trigger in this way cannot continue. That's it. That's it. We can't continue like this. You got to rewatch the FD video or something because you're not even, you got to rewatch the FD video or something because you're not even educating or convincing at this point. You're taking your anger out on a terrible chatter. You do it every single stream, and it's right. Your ego is a constant derailment to your coverage. All right, take fucking a week off or maybe multiple weeks off. Do you not also feel the same level of anger that I feel when you have someone that comes in here to fucking justify what we're experiencing, what we're seeing? Like, there is a moment for righteous anger. I think this is it. It's justified. If you're not mad in this situation, when you're watching people try to justify this in a way that doesn't even help them, I don't know what to tell you. Now you're fucking derailing the chat because now I'm actually responding to you instead of talking about this. I synced the new audio too from the bystander. Yeah.
You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car.
Like when people say fuck around and find out, what they're talking about is you're not supposed to offer lip to anyone that presents themselves as a position of authority. That's what they are saying fuck around and find out about. It's not that the real argument here is not about whether or not this person is sincerely a terrorist or deserved this death or actually the cops or the ICE agents were ever in fucking fear for their lives. The real argument is how dare you speak out against ICE, which is an expression of the justified violence that my favorite president is bringing to this country. That's it. She talked back and she deserves to be killed, and I wish I could kill her myself is the attitude that these people have. Okay? It's not even just like bootlicking, I think, for a lot of people. And I saw someone unintentionally reveal their own personal pathological frustrations, this psychosexual frustrations that they have when someone posted a photo of Renee Good and said, "Oh, this woman is the exact same type of person that has like smugly said no to me my whole life." I'm sure you guys might have seen that. Like there was a guy who very clearly revealed like he's just mad at everyone that has wronged him in his life. Every libtard SJW woman that has wronged him. And then this is it. Great point. If a killer can walk free, let's let Tyler Robinson go free too. Also, these people then turn around and talk about like a assassination in the hands of like a random person and state-sanctioned violence, okay? They genuinely think it's always appropriate if a cop kills someone or if an ICE agent kills someone. That's the problem here. Trump went live, unclear if he'll say anything about the new coverage. I mean, he's talking to oil executives about Venezuela stuff right now, so I'm just going to continue with this before we get into that.
To be with among the biggest companies.
All right, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go to Trump for now, and then we'll continue talking about the other thing.
And we're doing tremendous things. Our country is doing very well. You saw the numbers.
This was what I was talking about
today.
Hold on. This was what I was talking about. Yeah. Not this one, but this one. I feel like I have been condescended by a woman who looks exactly like this thousands of times. Second grade teacher who hates children vibes. Like, this is what it is. Okay. For many people that look at this video and seek to justify what took place, they can't comprehend that Renee Good could have been their parent. Renee Good could have been their neighbor that has a political disagreement with them every now and then, but still, you know, is kind and makes cookies for them. They see Renee Good as a woman that has wronged them at some point in their lives. So they look for a way to justify it. They look for a way to justify and defend this. Okay? I'm going to play this part one more time. Her last words to her murderer was,
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
"That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you."
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Show your...
What he said about her in the aftermath of executing her in broad daylight, he called her a fucking bitch. Okay? Her last words to him was, "That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you." His last words after shooting her was, "Fucking bitch."
Fucking bitch.
people that try to say that this is this assessment is like emotional or whatever are idiotic, because the clinical assessment here that I gave from the start is exactly the same. You're obviously not going to be able to see the exact movement of the car from this footage, because this footage is a first person POV that is liable to look like when you move your phone around, when you're filming something. If you've ever actually dropped your phone on accident, or if you move your phone around, it looks a lot more impactful than it actually is. Okay. So I think a lot of people are leaning into the loud noises that they hear from him pulling his gun out as he steps back, but while leaning forward. His upper body is leaning forward to get a clearer sight on this woman that has pissed him off, that has wronged him in that moment, where he's going to show his righteous rage. While he is trying to pull out his gun. Iraq veteran, who some people are saying is actually unironically married to a Filipino woman too. Another one of these libertarian guys with Filipino wives. An ICE agent now. Which is so crazy. He wanted to upset her. Her saying she wasn't mad made him so angry he murdered her. This is the obvious result of the level of misogyny that's being allowed to fester in this country. It's just like, it's the lack of accountability that these guys have. It's the constant feeling of domination that they want to engage in. That's it. All it takes is feeling small in a brief moment. If you cannot comprehend how this exact same incident will play itself out over and over again all around the country, and it can just as easily happen to one of your loved ones, I don't know what to tell you, okay? Any fucking dipshit that's angry can take out their daily anger. Any dipshit that's mad about any number of different things can take out their anger on one of your loved ones like this. The video doesn't show anything new regarding him being at fault, doesn't change any of the analysis done by Washington Post or New York Times, just adds more viciousness from him. How are people using this to justify it more now? Because it doesn't matter. For a lot of people who are already dead set on defending it because they downloaded the talking points from the admin, they were dead set on defending this, and they are going to continue defending it. They will never, because the administration is not actually taking their foot off the gas pedal here, and they're not doing the classic thing that they normally would do, which is, oh, I guess we were, I guess this was a bad apple. Because like in the past, that's how they used to operate, right? They would turn around and say, well, guys, obviously this is just a bad apple. This doesn't mean that all ICE is bad, all ICE is wrong, any of that stuff. They would just say like, oh, this is just one guy. Come on. Like, justice will be served. Let justice be served. They're not doing that this time around. Okay? They're not even doing the bad apple narrative, which already is like busted, right? It's one bad apple spoils the bunch. We already know that. They are just leaning into it because I think in this current media environment, they've realized like there are no punishments, or at least they think there are no punishments. And if the Democrats don't actually figure out that they are the ones who are actually supposed to punish these bad actors, okay, then the Republicans will be right. There won't be any punishments at all. I know you've been covering this topic for the past few days, but not sure if you covered the U.S. quietly pulled out of 66 UN and international organizations while this news was dominating the media. Yes, I am aware of it. I didn't cover it today, or I haven't covered it yet. I'll get to it eventually. I mean, it's not that significant. It's another push from American foreign policy very openly moving away from soft power initiatives, because these are all UN and international organizations that we started, that we funded, you know. They're moving away from soft power to hard power only. Trump is basically just saying the quiet part out loud every single day. And it's a real wake-up moment, I think, for liberals who will either have to come to terms with whether or not they agree with unlimited imperialism and unlimited force projections all around the world, or if they, no, it's not even isolationism. This is not isolationism. You're misunderstanding it. This is not isolationism at all. How can you say that this administration is engaging in isolationism when they're very clearly doing intervention, direct intervention? This is more so about manicuring said foreign policy. In the past, we created an entire network of both media apparatus and also like soft power initiatives to make it seem as though we were the world police for good. We were actually liberalizing the world. We were fighting against the ideological forces of the Soviets, socialism, communism, dangerous ideas, dangerous ideas that did not represent democracy and the democratic values that we believe in. And that was the intellectual liberal patina that you associated with American imperialism. It made it much harder to actually criticize it from an anti-imperialist perspective. And Donald Trump is saying, I'm doing away with all of that. Intervention is never going to stop. I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud. And that's precisely the reason why you see a lot of liberals failing to comprehend why this is happening. Why is Donald Trump saying these things? Matt Iglesias being one of the latest. Anyway, let's continue with this and I'll get back to it. But basically what a lot of people are failing to comprehend here on the right is that there will never be any repercussions for leaning into this kind of like abject cruelty. They don't realize that losing sight of your own humanity, a lack of recognition for the humanity of others, and thinking that you can ideologically partition society and justify state-sanctioned murder of this sort, I don't think it's going to be successful. Your entire argument for the past 2 days has fallen apart in front of your eyes. How do you justify that? Unfortunately for you, and unfortunately for American society in general, this is another break-off point where it's another filter, just like Nick Shirley's video was another filter. People can look at something and if they already are primed, if they're already primed to believe that this was totally justified, no matter what amount of evidence that you can see with your own two eyes, they will continue to say, no, I was right, see? You know? And that's the reason why they go into all these other separate arguments that are utterly irrelevant in this situation, like celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder but losing your minds because an ICE agent got hit during a federal operation. The hypocrisy is actually bottomless. You run into hypocrisy narratives because you've already lost the argument on the grounds. You cannot justify this action, and you kind of realize you can't justify this action, which is why you have to go to like, well, everyone was celebrating Charlie Kirk. Why can't we celebrate this like random white lady getting shot in the fucking face by an ICE agent? Go have a conversation with a normal adult, okay? A normal adult that doesn't care maybe about Charlie Kirk one way or another, okay? But will get mad about this situation because they can put themselves in the shoes of this person, whereas many people can't empathize with Charlie Kirk's position in society. Also, the notion that everyone was instantly celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder is ridiculous, especially considering that the overwhelming amounts of Kirkification memes and things like that came after the Republican administration tried to martyr Charlie Kirk, tried to make him out to be a martyr with all the fucking flares, with all the, wrestling intros, with Erica Kirk's inability to read the fucking room. It was a response to all of that. Charlie Kirk was a public figure with many people who liked him and a lot more people who despised him. This is a random neighbor, okay? And also, look at how ridiculous this standard is, too. There was not a single Democratic politician that celebrated, even to this day, celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination. As a matter of fact, many of them voted to like revere him and you know, honor him, which I thought was stupid. I was against that, right? Those are two separate things. I think like hyping up Charlie Kirk is entirely different than like, you know, not celebrating his death, right? You don't have to celebrate his death, but whitewashing his background and leaning into the narrative that he was a force for good, all that stuff was ridiculous. I never stood for that, okay? But that's about ideological disagreements. Having said that, notice that the standards are so out of whack where you're mad about people posting TikTok memes about Charlie Kirk after the administration tried to turn him into a horsed vessel versus the fucking vice president and the president calling a random lady a domestic terrorist. There is no equivalence between random TikTokers celebrating Charlie Kirk months after the administration tried to turn, like the administration came after everybody who was even like posting Charlie Kirk quotes to be like, I don't think he was that good of a guy. Like he shouldn't have been killed, but I don't think he was that good of a guy. You know, after months and months of that, people actually responded with the Kirkification memes to the president, the vice president, the secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, immediately calling her a fucking domestic terrorist and justifying her death. You're out of your fucking mind. You have no leg to stand on. There is no civility argument that any Republican can ever make. You can never make a civility argument. You are uncivil. You're a fucking animal. You're a disgusting animal. I am not a very civil person, by the way. You can come to me and you can fucking yell at me all day. I'm not a very civil person at all. As a matter of fact, a lot of libtards get mad at me too for not being a civil person. But let's be real. Liberals, by and large, for the most part, have been unimaginably civil, perhaps to a fucking fault. And Republicans still turn around and try to create this alternative reality where they're making it seem like Nancy Pelosi is like, yeah, you know, talking about how Charlie Kirk was like a dangerous terrorist that deserved to be fucking murdered in the way that J.D. Vance did about this lady. There is nothing but projection. Perhaps this is the reason why in the overwhelming majority of political violence that takes place on U.S. soil, it's more often than not a right-winger killing another right-winger because they dominate this discourse so much and they already control all the fucking levers of power that they have to release their anxiety and sometimes they end up shooting one another. It's fucking crazy. I guess these guys, at least the ones who are defending this stuff, don't even care when it's a Christian white woman that's being killed, you know? They can't even stand on that. It turns out they just want death and destruction of what they perceive as the enemy. And who the enemy is can change at any given moment. It just depends on who was in the vicinity of an ICE agent. That's it. And what a lot of these guys that come in here to try to fucking understand my position, or without actually understanding my position, immediately go, "Oh, you got owned, loser. This POV actually changes everything." It didn't change anything. Your position didn't change, and neither did mine. If anything, my position is hardened, and so has yours. But what you don't understand, what you do not understand here, is that this can happen to you as well. one day you or one of your loved ones can find themselves in the crosshairs of an ICE agent who's having a bad fucking day. Okay? What you don't realize is that you are justifying your own demise right now. You're creating permission for the state to come and kill you, for the state to have awesome power, unlimited power, and no accountability to come knock down your door and kill you. And while you're busy fighting against your fellow man, fighting against people on ideological boundaries, you are creating an opportunity. You are diminishing any sort of response that should be coming from you as well as everyone else to tell this government that this is completely unacceptable. You are so lost. You are so lost in this biased way that you don't even recognize that this will harm you down the line because you think it won't. Okay? If you're watching on Twitch, you're not a fucking billionaire. Okay? If you're watching me on Twitch in an anonymous account, you're a regular person. Sure, maybe you don't go outside too much, but you're a regular person at the end of the day. You have a regular mom, you have a regular dad, you have sisters, you have loved ones, you have neighbors. You are advocating for the state to come and fucking shoot them in the face, and then you will justify it. I heard someone describe the videos of Renee Good's last moments as a political Rorschach test or an ink blot test, and it fits so perfectly. Exactly. If you look at this situation, if you look at no matter how many fucking pieces of camera footage you get out of this, if you look at this situation and you find yourself justifying it, if you look at the circumstances here and you find yourself going, nah, this is actually totally justifiable, fuck around and find out, you're lost. Hasan is actually in full cope mode right now. Yeah, I know. I'm totally coping. Okay? Yes. You can't argue on the fucking basis. You can't argue on the facts. You can't even recognize that this might actually harm you later down the line as well. So you have to go, oh, my least favorite Twitch streamer is coping right now. You have to imagine that I'm coping. I'm not coping. I'm warning. I'm warning you. I'm dignifying you with a response. I am trying to recognize your humanity. I'm trying to tell you there is a shared consensus reality that we need to get back to. One where you recognize that a state that does this to Renee Good will inevitably do it to you or a loved one, and everyone around you that you have, everyone around you that you've identified as your allies, your ideological allies, will be saying fuck around and find out in the same exact way. I'm urging you to understand that you need to pull out of this before it gets to that point, because at that point, who knows how many people will remain on your side? Who knows how many people will be able to take it to the fucking streets? It's simply not worth trying to engage with these people to appeal to empathy. If they haven't now, I doubt they ever will. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not even just talking about empathy. I'm talking about self-preservation. Because even if you don't have empathy, most people are at least not dumber than dirt. Like, even an animal has self-preservation, right? I'm trying to help people understand that what they are justifying here, what they're advocating for here, is going to inevitably harm them as well. Okay? That's it. This has happened throughout history. If you don't fight for others right now, and recognize your shared humanity here, recognize that you are not going to be spared in the future because you are not a fucking billionaire, okay? You weren't on the Epstein flight logs. You're not one of Donald Trump's buddies. The state does not give a fuck about you. Okay? The faster you recognize that you're not Israel, you're not the glorious nation state of Israel, okay? You're not one of Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express clients. You're just a fucking random dude on the internet. You're not a part of the goddamn team. If one bad day for an ICE agent is all it fucking takes for the state to call the victim a goddamn terrorist and you're participating in that, you're cooked. You're fucking cooked. People love to say, oh, it's not fucking left versus right. It's up versus down. Oh, it's us versus them. But they unironically fall so quickly back into the same ideological boundaries when moments like this happen. And I know that from a broader snapshot here, from a broader perspective, from a broader snapshot, there are a lot of normies, I think, that are, seeing this for what it actually is. Okay. There are a lot of normies that are seeing this for what it actually is. You're just not going to hear from them because they're not on fucking Twitter and they're not in the HasanAbi broadcast duking it out in my fucking comments with anonymous accounts. Okay. So make no mistake. I do believe that this will be a turning point. And if it's not, we're fucked anyway.
U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy.
Look, you're doing it again. You're doing it again. Your moral consistency is actually zero. This chat spent weeks throwing a party and making memes over Brian Thompson's assassination. But the second, Renee, look, first you said the watching Hasan try to backtrack is hilarious. First you said this about Charlie Kirk. Now you're saying this about Brian Thompson. You keep looking for hypocrisy without actually tunneling in on this individual instance. Okay? You're trying to do hypocrisy baiting. You're trying to engage in hypocrisy fishing when there is no hypocrisy. Just argue on the fucking facts of the matter. You can't do it, so you have to go, oh, you guys are mad about people celebrating. Dude, you're not Brian Thompson. You're not. You explain to me right now, who, if we're talking just on the boundaries of self-preservation and class interest, are you closer to being the healthcare CEO of United Healthcare, or are you closer to being impacted by the actions of a for-profit private healthcare insurance provider that will inevitably deny your fucking cancer-ridden mother coverage? Which side are you on? Why are you so silent on Iran all of a sudden? Oh my God. I'm not. I talked about it yesterday and I will continue talking about it today as well, but you don't understand. You are, okay, whatever. You're not actually trying to fucking have a serious conversation. It's just deflection after deflection. Goalposts are so fucking motorized that Jonathan Ross would be shooting it in a moment of anger. What a lot of people don't even understand is that, like, hypocrisy baiting in this situation is so idiotic. Yeah, I literally have a video about Iran from a fucking day ago, dude. From a day ago. This kind of hypocrisy baiting only works if there is a one-to-one comparison. If there's an instance where, like, my ideological enemy, came in and, like, an ICE agent killed someone that I fucking despise or something, and I celebrated it. And you can't find one because even when Ashley Babbitt was fucking killed, I was actually against all of the fucking liberals who were yelling at me over it. I said, this is still police violence. And in that circumstance, she was doing a fucking insurrection. So there is probably a little bit of a higher justification for a Secret Service person to fucking literally shoot and kill someone because they're trying to break in to the area where all the fucking congresspersons are. You know what I mean? And even then, I was consistent. That was still police violence. I said it over and over again. I just saw you say 4 years ago in the Austin Ox Nicki Minaj suspension vid that this is 100% the beginnings of a culture war shit, cancel culture, when she was having her Joker moment. And now look where we are. You've pre-watched America again. Yes. And unfortunately, I'm pre-watching one more time. If this isn't a turning point where Americans can get together, if this is not a turning point where Americans get together and recognize our common shared humanity, recognize that this kind of stuff is completely unacceptable. This kind of like unrestricted, unrestrained state violence is completely unacceptable. If this isn't the moment where people get together and go, yeah, we got to stop this. This is unacceptable. We're fucked. It's over. The social fabric is done. It's completely ripped apart, and it will never come back together again. It's bedlam. It's chaos. And a lot of us will not survive that moment. And I don't know why people don't see that. I don't know why people that have little to lose and yet still so much to lose at the same time, their lives, right, think that this will be beneficial for them. People just think as long as the state is dominating what I perceive as my ideological enemy, it will never come for me. It will never come from one of my loved ones. You're not part of the team, okay? You're not a part of the elite pedophilic cabal. You're fucked. Your life will either be lost in a ditch somewhere in Caracas if you think that as long as you're doing the violence, you will be spared. Your life is going to be lost when your dick gets blown off. I don't know, protecting an oil refinery from guerrilla warfare, from the collective, the Chavistas that are armed to the fucking teeth so that Exxon can turn a fucking profit next quarter. Or you're going to have an instance like this on the domestic home front where a federal agent that is hopped up on fucking fumes, is really pissed off, is going to come and shoot you in the fucking face, and you're going to be forgotten. You're going to be considered yet another casualty that people justify. That is where we're at. I do feel like we're not going to make it, though. Iran is literally doing what you're accusing Americans of doing. The Ayatollah is killing their citizens. Brother, I'm not Iranian. I'm not in Iran. And I don't think that's acceptable anyway. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you Iranian? Are you in Iran? Are you in Isfahan? Are you in Tehran? Where are you? Are you one of the Kurdish militias? Like, what are you talking about? What the fuck does this have to do with anything? I'm not the one justifying that anyway. Shut the fuck up. This is what I mean. These dumb cocksuckers living in a Pennsylvania suburb that are more likely to be shot by a fucking ICE agent are over here being like, well, what about Iran? What about Iran? You can't even point to Iran in a fucking map. What the fuck are you talking about? You're the one who is justifying state violence when it's happening to you while simultaneously coping about what the fuck's going on in Iran. Jesus Christ. How fucking stupid. It's so stupid. It literally blows my fucking mind. The endless amounts of excuses for fucking cops, it blows my fucking mind. It's just, there is no amount of cruelty that a fucking ICE agent can subject the average American to that you won't say enough is enough over, it seems. This guy, like we showed you earlier with it's not even body camera footage. This is him like literally filming this. Another point of indication that he was never in threat. His life was never in jeopardy. He never even felt threatened at all. He was just mad. He pulled out his gun, and in a moment of panic, he unloaded into her because he was like, how dare she fucking talk back? How dare she not fear my presence? It's a power-tripping douchebag who's fucking 5'7", and you're over here justifying it, thinking this won't end up harming one of your family members, if not you. It's so crazy. It blows my fucking mind, dude. In other circumstances, people would at least be like, well, what if he had a gun? What if this person had a gun? What if this person was genuinely trying to harm the cop or whatever? This is like the most black and white situation where there is no imminent fucking threat at all, and you are trying to engage in a post hoc rationalization to justify state-sanctioned murder. When an ICE agent with a gun has an ego moment, okay? When an ICE agent with a gun has an ego fucking moment and kills a 37-year-old mom in broad fucking daylight, and you find yourself justifying that, it's done. They will kill your family members, and you will sit there and go, how did we get here? You will have a leopards eating my face moment, inevitably, when one of your fucking neighbors is killed. It shouldn't get to that point. It should not get to that point. Bro, you are just as radical as Asmongold are, but both of you are blind as fuck. I'm radical because I think the ICE agents having a fucking ego moment shouldn't be able to assassinate someone in broad daylight. What is this, both sides, this bullshit, dude? What are you talking about? Nobody thinks your brain is big, okay? I'm saying pull yourself out of the fucking team sports mentality, and this guy's like, well, how about no sides? I'm taking no sides in this argument. We're going to run it one more time. It's time, man. It's time to pick a side, okay? I'm sorry. No, of course not, mate. If someone says she deserved it, that person is brainless, but saying that she got shot because she talked back, come on, man. Why did she get shot then? Why did she get shot? So you do have a side. You're just too much of a fucking pussy to admit it. This is what I mean. You either think this is a justified legal kill or you don't. I think it's unjustified. You think it's justified. Why? Why is it that these people always try to fucking, again, another one of these, like, I'm apolitical, I'm centrist ass chatters who is turning around and actually showing that they're not a centrist at all. What do you mean? Oh, well, what do you mean? Explain yourself then. It's what the Act Man was saying. It's like one of the, ironically enough, people didn't understand that I was actually leaning into his sarcasm because, you know, my ideological enemies are obviously opposed to engaging in sarcasm and humor ever, right? But Ackman said, my politics are anyone who mildly inconveniences law enforcement should be indiscriminately gunned down to the streets by unidentified mass government agents. I am a rational, empathetic, and well-adjusted person. And I responded to him and said, apolitical centrism based around common sense politics. That's what you sound like, brother. Yeah. The reason why you think I'm a radical is because I arrived at a conclusion that you will arrive at tomorrow. That's it. Oftentimes, I mean, how many times does this have to happen where history vindicates us on this side of the fucking political spectrum over and over and over again, and people never let it go. People never stop endlessly yelling about how it took them a long time to get to the same conclusions that you got to. In that moment, you were resistant to the argument. In that moment, you wanted to resist against the argument, and you felt small, and you felt weak, and you felt shitty, so I'm never going to actually fucking agree with you. You're anonymous on the internet. You don't have to do this, okay? You could just like take a deep breath and maybe go, hey, I'm gonna be charitable here. I'm gonna fucking try to see what he has to say. Overheard. It took 4 blocks and 5 years to go from kneeling on a black man's neck to shooting a white woman in the face. That's what I mean. Like America has a lot of unrealized and unexamined white supremacist attitudes, okay? So there is a racialized hierarchy here, and white women are at the top of that pile, okay? If we're justifying white women getting gunned down in the street, it's over for black people across the board, and it has been for a long time, as black people have been fucking saying. This is a reality that many black people understand, by the way. This is insane to me. I don't think it was justified at all, but that's the mindset that she didn't do anything is exactly the problem. That's the problem. The problem is not the murder, because I think it's the problem is unrestrained state violence and the justifications that are coming from heads of state against unrestrained state violence against a tax-paying citizen, a 37-year-old poet and a mother. That's what I think is the problem. You have lost everything. You've lost your humanity if you don't recognize that that is the problem, not whatever kind of fucking stupid ass centrist position you're trying to arrive at. That she didn't do anything is exactly the problem. That's precisely why people are turning to the right, because either you agree or 100% or not at all. Oh my God, what is the nuance? You were just a pussy that is right wing that doesn't want to admit that he's right wing. Either admit that you're fucking right wing, either shit or get off the pot, okay? And you don't have to. You don't have to lean into this kind of cowardly bullshit where it's like, oh, you made me right. You made me right. You pushed me to the right. Guess what, dude? People yell at me every day. I eat dicks on a fucking daily basis over here. From the left, from the right, from liberals. My positions don't change. Have a fucking backbone. Look at a situation without getting manipulated by some of the dumbest mouth breathers on the fucking planet to make up your mind after what Asmongold has decided or what Ben Shapiro has decided. And fucking stand on those principles. I can't stand this bullshit, dude. I cannot believe you are literally using ChatGPT to respond to me right now. Oh my God, you are dumber than dirt. That's it. I have no respect for people that turn around. I have no respect for people that fucking turn around and say, oh, your reaction in this this sanctioned state violence that I want to defend has made me become a right-winger. It's like, okay, dude, well then I guess you're a right-winger then. And I guess this is what it means to be a right-winger in 2026. If you're a right-wing, if you're a right-wing guy, you believe that ICE agents can have a fucking annoyed moment and just fucking broad daylight assassinate someone and even do an ISIS-style fucking video of it as well, like in the moments leading up to it. And then call her a fucking bitch after, too, and you just sit there and you justify it. That's what it means. Yeah, if you think, imagine if that was a Chinese cop. Imagine if that was a Russian cop. Imagine if that was a North Korean cop. You'd be losing your fucking mind. You'd be losing your goddamn mind. If it was an Iranian cop, you'd be like, oh my God, we need to nuke Iran right now to save the Iranians. It blows my fucking mind. You have no honesty, no consistency. It's just like, yeah, the chatter unironically came in here and said, you're turning me right wing because you're asking me to agree 100% that murder is either okay or not okay. Do I believe that the left doesn't always put their best foot forward and are genuinely high off the fumes of assuming that everyone else is supposed to fall in line with their moral position? Absolutely. That's why I spent a good deal of time fucking yelling at the left. This is not one of those moments, though, because I'm not even applying to there is no ideological component in this. It's what you see is what you get. Okay? I'm not saying you have to be a fucking Maoist third worldist that wants to fucking destroy the American empire or something. I'm just literally saying, hey, your white lady neighbor who is 37 years old, who's like a objectively kind individual, probably shouldn't be assassinated in broad daylight by a fucking ICE agent. And you're like, I don't know. To me, it kind of feels like this all or nothing here. It's a little all or nothing. If this is not an all or nothing moment, if this is not a black or white moment for you, then what